Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. From there, we get to Psalm 35, 27. Then from there, we get to 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. Okay, we do Psalm 24, verse 1. Deuteronomy 8, verse 18. We are reading together. All the scriptures, we are reading them together. All right, at the count of 2, everybody. 1, 2. And thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. That he may establish, there's a reason for the wealth. That he may establish, that means God is trusting my wealth to establish his covenant on the earth. Aye. God is trusting that which he has given me is available for him to establish his covenant on the earth. For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers. It is this day. Psalm 35, verse 27. Psalm 35, verse 27. Let's go. 1, 2. Let them shout for joy and be glad, who favor my righteous cause. Let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, who has pleasure in the prosperity of his servant. Psalm 24, verse 1. Psalm number 24, verse 1. 1, 2, read. The earth is the Lord's, and the world and those that dwell therein. The earth is the Lord's, and all its fullness, the world. So there's a difference between the earth and the world. The earth is that which we see, which we stand on, which we live in, the earth suit. The world, the systems, the structures, the ethnos, the different languages. You know, languages are not really what you say. Languages is actually how you think. Actually how you think. So the earth is the Lord's, the world, and they that dwell therein. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2, finally. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. Everybody, 1, 2. Moreover, it is required in stewards that one. Moreover, it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. Today I'm going to speak on stewardship, responsibility, and the Mimshack mindset. Stewardship, responsibility, and the Mimshack mindset. Somebody sent me, I think that's actually the third person. I got a text from somebody yesterday. Say, Pastor, please, can we this thing you're teaching on Thursday, can you teach it on Sunday? I think you should teach it on Sunday. It's no wonder, it's not harm directed. It's not harm directed. It's not harm directed. The people that call it priority will be here on Thursdays. In fact, it is said that on Thursdays is when you actually know the real members of the church. It might not be so true because a lot of things make people all right, but there's still an iota of truth. If you say that for Thursday, what are you going to say for Tuesday prayer meeting? Because the true Christians are the ones that pray. See. Every believer should pray. You hear what I said? If there are meetings you should take very seriously, particularly in the gathering of the believers, is a prayer meeting. It's a prayer meeting. In prayer meetings, directions of seasons are given. You might not hear it in your personal prayer, but in corporate prayer, every joint supplies. Particularly in the kind of prayer meetings we have in this place. In prayer meetings, directions are given for seasons. For seasons. Testimonies are everywhere in this house. Not really about things, but about direction, about peace, about how things are handled, about knowing the wisdom. There's an aspect of God that the church has neglected. It is that aspect of God, Jesus being the wisdom of God. Everybody is concentrated on power. Jesus is the power of God, but he's also the wisdom of God. Let me tell you the truth. You save power if you know what to do. If you see, thinking about it, the Bible said, as many as are led. Sons of God are not known by power. They are known by direction and by wisdom. In fact, the power of God for the Son of God is not for destruction. The power is to love. It's not for destruction. That power is to love against all odds. See, real power is welded when you love the unlovable. Yes. Real power. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples. Not when you demonstrate and everybody is on the floor. No, sir. He said, when you have love, loving the unlovable is power. Jesus was talking about it. He said, love your enemies. That's when you know that you have power. He said, honor and love them that despitefully use you. When you are able to hold yourself not to react, that's enough. The Bible said, a man that is disciplined is greater than a man that takes a city. That's power. Most times in prayer, let me tell you, prayer doesn't really change things. Prayer changes the praying man. And the praying man changes things. Because some things you want to change are determined by the direction and instruction you hear. That's why you will hear a voice behind you saying, it's not this is what to destroy. It is this is the way to go. Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying the things I'm saying, but I believe I'm communicating to some people today. I'm communicating. There's direction in the place. There are some things you want to throw away. God will say, leave it, don't throw it away. And some of those instructions come in the place of prayer. We've been praying about some of my friends called me the other day and we were talking about something and I realized that what God is saying to me now is actually what he's saying. He's actually talking about the believer living out his prophecy. That's actually what God is saying. That's actually what because when you begin to live out your prophecy, your life becomes a praise on the earth. You are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation, a peculiar people. How? Why? That you may show forth the praises of him that called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Sir, when you begin to live the light that you are, men are going to marvel. I'm not saying this to sell the prayer meeting. If I'm saying it to sell it, let it be so. But I'm really not saying it to sell it, because I am here praying it. And it's there, it's happening in my life. If I am the only one here, I'll still pray with the intensity that I'm praying it. How many people come now? We are not up to 100 that come for prayer meeting. Okay, we are not up to 50 there that come for prayer meeting. But I pray with the same intensity. In fact, I am more intense in prayer meetings than on Sunday morning. Yes. Because this is the place that built me. See that Tuesday prayer? That's the place that built me. If I want to count, I've done that thing like that now for almost 35 years. Even when I didn't know what it means, they threw me inside prayer. I was there saying what I don't do. And it has directed my life. I'm saying it to somebody. You are running around. You are even borrowing money right now. You are running around thinking what is happening to my business. Nothing is happening to your business. Your priesthood is not in place. Your priesthood is not in place. When your priesthood is in place, kingship will align. The people that are your competitors in the market are not joking with their juju. Your priesthood is not in place. He that tampers with his altar, his life will always be altered by a man that pays attention to his own altar. Did you hear what I said? It's people that pay attention to their altar that alter the things that happen in life. You can look at this and say, I don't accept it. And life will answer to you because there's a place. There's a place. There's a place. Think I just wake up in church and I shout, I cannot be stranded. No, it's powered from somewhere. It's also worse for someone that doesn't even have a personal prayer life. You don't have a personal prayer life. And the community have organized a prayer meeting. I've stayed long on this thing. But my spirit doesn't want to leave it. The community doesn't. If this is the only thing I say, it's still word and spirit. We go home, we have a life. Nobody's marking our script. It's what the will of God wants that I do today. Yes. Because actually, that's Mimshack. He's making sure that priesthood is where it is. Before the king wants to do it. The Old Testament is a shadow whose realities are in Christ. So Paul now said, I'm going to pray. Say, but while I prayed, I heard the voice of the Lord say to me, this. I heard a call, come over to Macedonia and help us. See, directions are in the place of prayer. There's a matter in the office. Everybody is running around. You have made all the calls. The thing is that you picked your phone before you went to the throne. The throne is sure. Permutations happen on phones. The throne? No. You will hear clear. He will tell you what to do. The power of let there be is still at work in 2025. I want you to understand that. That even the solution, when it's not there, let there be can bring it. So let me talk about stewardship for as much time it will allow me. Responsibility and the Mimshack mindset. You may be seated. Advancement and prosperity is not just what God gives us. It is what we do with what He gives us. What we do with what he gives us. Many people want prosperity but reject responsibility. Prosperity, wealth, advancement, they come with enormous responsibility. Let me give you a physical example how you know. Once your financial status or your life status change, you will realize that there are so many relatives that you don't know. Your life becomes a magnetic pool. They begin to come. You don't need to invite them. Ants will always locate sugar. See this thing? I have nobody. Don't worry. Just go take small siki now in life. Just go take small siki in life. You will see people that you don't know. You'll be wondering how your phone number got to him. Some of us have experienced that. Somebody calls you on the phone and is trying to explain who he is. He's trying to tell you that you know him just that you forgot. The truth is that in God's kingdom, prosperity and responsibility, stewardship, are inseparable. We are talking about Mimshack. It ensures enlargement and expansion. But without the mindset of responsibility, increase can destroy rather than bless. God prospers us to extend his kingdom, not to promote waste or greed. Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18 where we read, he said, and you should remember the Lord your God. For it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers as it is this day. Let them shout for joy, Psalm 35:27, and be glad who favor my righteous curse. And let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, who has pleasure in the prosperity. What is the pleasure of God in the prosperity of his saints? He just corrected me. He says it's not saints. He says servant. You know, let me say something. I want to correct something. I think I've taught that one. Let me correct it. A son is not higher than a servant. In this kingdom, a son that serves is higher than a son, than a irresponsible son. In fact, we are saved to be sons. Then we are sons to serve. We are saved to be sons. And we are sons to serve the purposes of our Father. Let me say it again. We are saved to be sons. Thank you, Jesus. As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Led to what? Because direction is for a reason. So the believer is saved to save. S-A-V-E. The believer is also saved to serve. Understanding your identity is sonship. Understanding your capacity is servanthood. Even as a son. So you are saved. You are a son that serves the Father. It is only a son that serves that can be a son of consolation. Feed my sheep is not for an irresponsible son. When matters arise in the family, there are people that your father calls. If you're not one of those that he calls, make sure you play yourself into the league of those people that he calls, male or female. Sons are not males. Sons are responsible offsprings. There are ladies that are better than 10 male sons. There are ladies that their father. So we are stewards of the wealth of El Shaddai. He owns all things. We steward it for him. God does not need wealth in heaven. In fact, everything God has is for man. Everything God has is for man. Everything. In fact, his greatest treasure is himself, which was displayed through his son. Who did he give it to? Man. So he gave his greatest treasure to man. Everything God has is for man. Romans chapter 8 verse 32. He that spared not his son, but gave him up for all things. He said, how shall he not also? So every other thing you think that God needs is part of also. How shall he not also with him give you all things? Prosperity and advancement in the kingdom begins with acknowledging that God owns everything. Let me look at your neighbor. Say, God owns everything. Say it again. Say, God owns everything. So the believer must think like a manager, not merely a consumer. No, there's this gospel that has been misinterpreted. We are sons, and our own is just to sit down and chop. True. But that's not what we have come to do. We have come to also bring men to come and eat. That's work. He has brought us into his banqueting hall, and his ban over us is love. Yes. He didn't call us to come to the kitchen to come and cook with him. It's a dinner prepared by him alone. He called us into it's already done. But he also called us to go outside and bring people and tell them food is ready. That's work. He didn't call us to come and prepare as we entered the house. No. You know, when you invite me to your house for dinner, Doc, if you invite me to your house for dinner, I show up for dinner, and you tell me, nah, I'm about to one in the kitchen. He said, come into the kitchen now. If you're inviting me for dinner, I don't need to see how your kitchen is. I only come to the kitchen if I have that kitchen relationship before the invitation for the dinner. If I didn't have that kitchen relationship before the invitation for dinner, I wouldn't even know where your kitchen is. Because the door that opens and food comes out might not even be the kitchen. Unless I have a kitchen relationship, that if I'm coming to your house, I might not even come through the front door. I'll come through the kitchen. Every other person that didn't know you that way will not come from the front door and be knocking. I'll come from the kitchen. Open the door, enter. Take one of the kitchen that's been fried and I'll be eating it to go and open the door for them. I'm just telling you myself, this is me. If I have that relationship with you, I won't mind. I will pass through your kitchen and take the fish that you're frying and I will be eating it. But about yourself, I'll give you money, you buy another one. But that one you're frying, I'm going to eat it. What is relationship without encroachment? True relationship is encroachment. You're eating Ezina's meat pie. I show up, I just... No. I love it. You know, it's one of the reasons I love the season of corn. Because love is more shared when... Some people are here pretending. How could one a job So he didn't just call us to come and consume. There is food ready. But sir, it is your job. You go and bring other people to come and chop because what he has is more than enough. El Shaddai he said, bring people. Prosperity is sustained when a man sees resources as tools, not as toys. Children see everything as toy. That's why whatever they see, before you know it, they have spoiled it. Because everything is consumable. There are some things you don't live in the presence. They will tell you, take this one out of the reach of children. Because once it gets into the hands of a child, he turns it to a toy. No wonder boys like toys. They will play with everything. Prosperity is not what you play with. It's what you sustain. And how you sustain it is by this mindset of stewardship and responsibility. There's this accountability that says the wealth is God's, but I am a caretaker of that which he owns. You know, living in Nigeria, and yes, Nigeria, because it's the same, north, south, east, west. Living in Nigeria, we don't understand what a caretaker, who a caretaker is. A caretaker, the picture that was painted for us is that the caretaker, first of all, is that the caretaker is the oldest person that has lived in the house. That's the first one. Number two, caretaker is the one that takes the agent's money when a new occupant enters an environment. Thirdly, the caretaker is the one that tells you how much NEPA bill is. It's not what is on the bill. That's caretaker. Anything that is not passed through the caretaker, he will do everything in that place except to take care of the house, which is the main job. If you're a priest, you are a caretaker of God's people. Your job is to feed the sheep, not to feed on the sheep. Caretaker. Because we are going to give account. Every resource God has given you, you're going to give account. Romans chapter 14 verse 12. The Passion Translation. Romans chapter 14 verse 12. The Passion Translation. Therefore, each one must answer for himself and give a personal account of his own life before God. The Passion Translation. Let me tell the believer, we are going to give account of what we use the resources we were given to, what we used it to do. Stewardship talks about kingdom priority. Resources first serve kingdom advancement. A believer is prosperous for the kingdom first. Matthew chapter 6 verse 23. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. The AMP translation. Okay, wait. Let me start from here. This is the Passion Translation. So above all, constantly seek God's kingdom and his righteousness. Then all these less important things will be given to you abundantly. What are the less important things? If you start reading from verse 30, don't go there. It's your homework. That which the Gentiles seek. We have the Spirit of God in us. But most times we live our lives like we are Gentiles. Go to AMP. AMP. That's not AMP. But first and most importantly, seek. That's AMPC. AMP. Two of them are not the same. But let me read this while you go to AMP. Aim at and strive after first of all, his kingdom and his righteousness, his way of doing and being right. Then all these things taken together will be given to you. Besides, AMP. If you don't have AMP, go to message. In fact, go to message. Message. Steep your life in God's reality. God initiative and God provision. I'm reading the message. God provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You will find all your everyday human concerns will be met. The Bible called it God reality, God initiative, God provisions. So there is a God purpose for every God-given wealth. The kingdom of God is priority for everything God does on the earth. So God-given wealth is for the advancement of his righteousness and not wickedness. When a believer does not understand why he has wealth, he'll be thinking about a second wife. When a believer does not understand why God gave him wealth, that thing that is in your mind, you're expecting me to say. Because when we are kingdom driven, there are some things our mind will not even get to. It's excess money that makes a believer say, let me try drugs. This powder self. Yeah. I was involved in one to pray for a guy. Somebody is delivered from crack cocaine. Believer. So this thing that they're talking, I think I need to. That's how 3-4 years of his life went by. What is the reason for the wealth? Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. His righteousness. Looking for who to do police case with because you have money. It's kingdom wealth that miss the road. We are laughing, but do you know, I know somebody that he likes police cases just because he has money to throw around. Small thing he has called. Small thing he has. Small thing, send me some boys. Because he has coins. Let me tell you, it is not contact, it's coins. It's coins that make sure that contact is kept. You have contact that you're not servicing with coins. He will not answer you now. It will not be contacted. Once this spiritual, you know the way social media works. That's the way it happens in the kingdom. There are spiritual algorithms that needs to be met for engagement to still be going up. What's your kingdom plan for that which you're believing God for now? Because it is not when it comes that you begin to know. No, sir. I can argue that with you. Because the last one that came. What's your kingdom plan? Who did you bless with it? What do you see in the advancement of the gospel? And you remember the last time you taught 20 million naira. The last time 1 million entered your hand. What do you look around and you see? Because if it's not for the kingdom, he is not involved though. Security of a believer's wealth is the security, is the involvement of the kingdom in that wealth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You will always have things to give when you keep giving to him. Now, this is the balance. Because when they begin to say we don't give out of. Some believers now stopped giving and began to go down. And they are praying. What is happening to my finances? This is what is happening to it. Even the people that wake up and they just give you business. The business pays you more than even your salary. They no longer do that. Because the last time they did it, you used that money for something frivolous. If we check our bank statement, what percentage is kingdom in it? Because stewardship. This wealth does not belong to me. It belongs to him. How am I using it for him? When you didn't have so much money, your children were eating well. Your wife was living a good life. Now you have money. The money is now for outsiders. You now have 3 girls outside. Brother Memboji. Let me end with this. The stewardship mentality is the multiplication mentality. Matthew chapter 25, verse 26 to 28. For want of time, I'll just read that. If you want, you can start from verse 10 to read. But his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, slothful, lazy. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers. Is it Nigerian man? And at my coming, I would have received back my own with interest. Every time God gives you resource, he's expecting interest. There's multiplication mindset. Therefore, take the talent from him and give to who? The one that has 10. Nothing on earth is wasted. God does not waste resources. See, if you didn't hear anything I said tonight, hear this one. God does not waste resources. Nothing on earth is wasted. Nothing. Nothing. One of the things I see, sir, in Ezekiel chapter 37 is that everything that we thought we lost on earth are still on earth. Nothing is wasted on earth. Ezekiel 37, dry bones. The bones were dry. He said, prophesy. Bones began to come to each bones. He said, prophesy. Sinews covered. Where did he come from? They didn't come from heaven. They were still on the earth. Prophesy. Flesh covered them. They were still on the earth. Prophesy. The wind brought life. That means that even the wind, even the breath under our nostrils that leaves us doesn't go to heaven. It's here. And while I was trying to think about it, it took me back to my elementary biology. That's why you have cycles. Water cycles. Oxygen cycles. If you look at your carbon cycle, you will realize that there is no escape. Everything goes and still comes back. Cycles. Cycles. But what happens is that the cycles were given for increase. So, water came this year and somebody is building a house. The water that came this year gave the person the ability to build the house because he needed water to mix mortar to build the house. By next year, the house is there, but the cycle continues. every cycle God gives is for increase. What you do with the cycle depends on you. Money will come again into your hands. What are you doing with it? There are people that touched half of what you touched this year, but they have more investment than what you did this year. The cycle will come again. Responsibility. Cycles either come to strengthen our responsibility or to expose our irresponsibility. Let me tell you the truth. The money will still be spent. It's either it's invested or it's wasted. Jesus said, at least. Put in the bank, at least. That means you can even live your life without putting it in the bank and put in investments. I intentionally asked, I said, is it with Nigerian banks that if your savings account, they are collecting money from it? Sorry, bankers. The only thing the bank does for us is that armed robbers now know that money, there's no money in our house. No cycle is wasted. It is God's will that you multiply. What did he tell man in Genesis? Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Say, be fruitful. Why be fruitful? Because if he didn't give seed, he would not expect fruit. So what he's saying to man is that you're already seedful. So be fruitful. Now see the progression. Multiply. Don't stay just with fruitfulness. We prophesy fruitfulness every time. But God is saying move beyond fruitfulness. Move into multiplication. Move into replenishing your earth. See. After replenishing your earth, the next thing is subdue. What the problem is that people in lack want to subdue. Be fruitful. Multiply. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion. True dominion cannot come with lack. Be fruitful. Multiply. True dominion cannot just come with being fruitful. Multiply. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion. So the responsibility of the Son of God is to multiply that which is in his hands. And the first way to multiply is to anchor on the kingdom, because the kingdom will defend you where even your mouth can defend. So make sure then you begin to invest into things. As I was going to talk about diligence today, but the other side should go from here. From here we can get into diligence next week. But you have to pay attention. How much can you hold? People are not big by how much they spent. People are big by how much they saved and invested. How much can you hold? It might not be literal cash. It might be in gold. It might be in real estate. It might be in foreign exchange. But how much can you hold? $200,000 enters your hand. You're thinking about, at this point, I think I'm very tired. Let me just get to Sun Heaven and just take 3 days and just It's a mindset. How much can you hold? There are people that their life is just an environment that sponsors waste. Even people's money in his hands, he has used it. And he can't even account for it. Little can do much if you mix it with responsibility. Little can do much if you mix it with stewardship. Someone called me and said, Pastor, I was on the rock of my own. I get money. I said, Amen. After some weeks, he now called me. He said, I should send him 500,000 that we are no. 500,000 we are not using. We were still in eBay at that time. 2 weeks later, we got a letter that this place had been sold. So he called me again. I said, there's nothing we can do. We are looking for money. January, he heard that we have bought a place. And we're already building and we are trying to move. He said, I talk him. Because every time you say you don't have money, you don't have money. You don't have money. I said, bros, our church is a definition of Jehovah Jireh. When we get to it, he will see to it. We don't gather money and pack. We don't do fundraising in church. When there is need, I will come and say, we have this need. Tithe and offering cannot run church. I can tell you for free. Our papers are open. You can meet him. He will show you. We are not hiding it. Come and see. It will encourage you to give more. But there is something about when you get to that road. Are there things that we can do now? Yes, we can. It is a foolish man that spends everything he has. Your wife is pregnant. That gift is not an emergency. That gift gave you 9 months' notice. You can't wake up on the day she put to bed and say, man of God, please. My wife just put to bed. I didn't know she was going to give to bed today. That thing gave you 9 months' notice. You can't just wake up and say, I don't have anything. No, sir. If you are saving 5,000 for 9 months, you have 45,000. You tell me that the thing is 250, but I have 45. I'm looking for 205. When little is mixed with responsibility. See, God is going to put so much wealth in your hands. If you want to receive it, I'm saying the truth. God is going to put so much wealth in your hands. What I'm teaching you is responsibility. Daughters of Belial will not eat from your hands. The things that God has put in your hands. You will not waste your money on alcohol that you don't need. You will not just enter into stuff. Start flying around. You don't need it. One of my mentors, God started blessing him. He started flying business class. Going everywhere. He didn't know that what God was giving him was seed. This is the third year. He's broke. People are paying $2,000 to fly to America and come back. He's paying $8,000 because he wanted it. Listen to me. Don't live a life that others are living from their profit. Don't live it from your capital. If you don't have business, don't fly business class. It does not change your pedigree. Let me tell you the truth. It doesn't change your pedigree. Except you have business. If you have business, you can meet men there and you can discuss business there. But when you don't have business, what are you doing in business class? All your luggages will still come out at the same time. You will still be waiting for the way the other people are waiting. I'm not against it. I fly it when I'm privileged to. But why waste when you can wait? Responsibility. Our time is up. Can you stand on your feet? We'll continue next week. God gives us all things richly to enjoy. Responsibility is in our hands to know what is seed and what is fruit. Seed and fruit look alike. The difference is that seed is always dry. That money you have kept for something, don't use it to... Seed is always dry. Leave it dry. Lift your hands. I am a responsible son of God. Can you just pray it and make it a prayer tonight? Make it a prayer.